Kapil Sharma was a complete surprise, but the fact that she both chose him, I already knew that he must be an amazing choice for this character.
हंसी मजाक में जो वक्त निकल जाए वही सबसे बेहतर है. मैंने जब फर्स्ट टाइम फिल्म देखी ना तो एक सीन था जो शायद मेरे सामने शूट नहीं हुआ था, शाहाना का सीन था. मैं बहुत हंसा था उस सीन पे.
Actually, I knew very little about Kapil before I cast him. I'd never seen his show. We come from such different worlds that we could have both died without ever meeting each other. I've worked with many different directors and sometimes they're not able to communicate what they want.
ये भुवनेश्वर की हैं क्योंकि इनके दोस्त हमें इन्होंने बड़े सारे अपने नेपोटिज्म बहुत करते हैं ये. इन्होंने अपने बहुत सारी फ्रेंड्स को भी फिल्म में आपको नजर आएंगी.
Hey guys, this is Nawaz Kochra from Team MissMalini and I am here in conversation with a very stellar star cast of Zwigato. We have with us Shahana Goswami, Kapil Sharma and Nandita Das. Hello, first of all, welcome to MissMalini. How are you guys?
Thank you,
We
Nawaz.
are very well and you've woken us up from our slumber.
Thank you so much. You know, I have to
morning.
say a big thank you to all three of you all here because I watched the trailer of Zwigato and in those 2 minutes 8 seconds, I revisited the entire value education class, the humanity class में जो kindness का हमने एक chapter पढ़ा था जिसको हम कहीं ना कहीं भूल चुके हैं. I revisited all of those aspects, but you know, one of the major takeaways for me was that I saw a man who's, you know, been through the suffering of the pandemic and he still wants to do something for his family. At the same time, I saw a rock solid partner who was there to lend that support to him, and it's all thanks to you for, you know, bringing this amazing story to us. But I want to know, for the very first time, probably when you all learnt about this part, what were your reactions?
It's very simple. You have Nandita Das directing something, I will say yes to it. If she's and she always happens to write her script and story, so you know that you're in safe hands, you're in good company. Kapil Sharma was a complete surprise, but the fact that she both chose him, I already knew that he must be an amazing choice for this character. And then, of course, once I worked with him, I realized that there could have been nobody else playing this part.
Kapil Paji, what was your first reaction?
Same here. अभी हमने सोचा छोटे-छोटे जवाब देने. हम लोग एक्चुअली सुबह से मतलब ऐसे कभी-कभी एक दूसरे की इतनी तारीफ कर दी ना, हमें शक हो गया एक दूसरे पे कि हम सही बोल देंगे नहीं. बट हाँ, जैसे शाहाना ने कहा कि जब आप किसी पे भरोसा होता है ना तो फिर पता होता है कि यार आप सेफ हैंड्स में हो. और हाँ, ऑफ कोर्स स्टोरी तो सुनते ही हम एज एन एक्टर. तो मैंने स्टोरी सुनी और बस कंप्लीट फेथ है नंदिता मैम में, क्योंकि हमने इनका काम देखा है, तो बस कोई डाउट ही नहीं था दिमाग में.
बट शहाना और नंदिता मैम, कपिल सर ने आप लोगों को हंसाया है ड्यूरिंग द शूट. वर देयर सो मच फन?
हमने भी हंसाया है. एग्जैक्टली.
ये पूछिए आप.
बहुत.
वाओ, आई वांट टू नो डिटेल्स अबाउट दैट.
नहीं, एक्चुअली मतलब काम के टाइम बहुत सीरियस होती हैं नंदिता, और हम सब भी सीरियस होते हैं. और लेकिन हाँ, बीच बीच में जब कभी टाइम मिलता था तो हमारी मस्ती चलती रहती थी. ऐसी टिपिकल कोई बात याद नहीं है कि किस बात पे, लेकिन हाँ, छोटी छोटी चीज़ों पे हम लोग मस्ती मजाक करते रहते थे. हंसी मजाक में जो वक्त निकल जाए वही सबसे बेहतर है.
Absolutely, and I think so when the script or the story is so heavy on emotions and all, it is always good to have that light notes in between shots probably.
Actually, if you see the film, the film is not heavy. The film is actually one of those where as you're watching it, you know, it has the light, it has all flavors, but it nothing.
It's very lifelike.
It's very
I mean,
light,
there is humor, there is, you know, there is seriousness, there is love, and there is romance, and मतलब जैसा जिंदगी में होता है.
मैंने जब फर्स्ट टाइम फिल्म देखी ना तो एक सीन था जो शायद मेरे सामने शूट नहीं हुआ था, शाहाना का सीन था. मैं बहुत हंसा था उस सीन पे, जहाँ पे ये
फोटो स्टूडियो वाला.
नहीं, फोटो वाले में बहुत हंसा था मैं कि कोई होता ना कि यार जो गरीब इंसान जो कभी फोटो शूट नहीं किया यार, वो जाके खिंचवाने भी पासपोर्ट साइज के लिए गई है. वो जो रिएक्शन थे वो इतने माइंड ब्लोइंग थे. और एक और सीन जिसमें आप बोलती हो ना कि मैं रात को मेरा सपना आया, मैंने अपनी सास को धक्का दे दिया. तो ये टिपिकल एक घर की कहानी. फिर बोलती नहीं मैंने उसको बाद में बचा भी लिया. तो मैं बहुत हंसा था उस सीन पे. हाँ, और मतलब
Also, probably Nandita ma'am, if there was one thing that probably you didn't know about Kapil Sharma and you learnt after working with him, and same for Shahana, what would that be?
Actually, I knew very little about Kapil before I cast him. I'd never seen his show. Okay. And I just knew he was this very popular popular host, a comedian. But it was still a clean slate, you know, when you don't have too many already perceptions and labels and you don't come with that judgment. I saw him in a little clip presenting an award with Karan Johar, and he just seemed so natural and effortless and candid and honest. And I said, "Acha, try karte hain, baat karte hain." So I messaged him. He replied. I went and met him, and in about 5 minutes, I knew that this person is definitely my choice. Now the ball is in his court. If he wants to do it or not is his prerogative. And yeah, we just, I think, connected. We come from such different worlds that we could have both died without ever meeting each other. But I'm so glad that this project, this film, got us together and we got to know each other. And actually, we are not that different. We have many things that we could talk about and connect on. So, yeah.
Oh, and with Shahana, you've worked earlier
Shahana
from in
worked with-
Firak.
Yeah.
So
And we kept in
probably
touch
what
with
was the
friends as
change
well.
you've seen in the Shahana from Firak to...
Well, unfortunately, she looks the same. Okay, she hasn't aged one bit.
Actually,
Mentally also have.
No, she's. But of course, I mean, you know, we all in some ways are the same, and yet we grow. And she's a very thoughtful actor. I know that if I just see her, if she's done something, and if I see her, she'll know that she's fantastic, or there's something that she could do. And we have a great sort of connection in that sense, and that of course helps. Because it is a collaborative process, right? The actor brings what they understand, their interpretation, their truth, and the director, and I'm also the writer, and I've written these dialogues, so how I've said it, how I've imagined. Being an actor, you kind of perform every character when you're writing, and how they are interpreting. So I think it's been a very, very collaborative process.
Also, you know, like you mentioned, being an actor, you can also imagine that how it's going to turn out. Does that also make it easy as a director to explain the nuances of the characters to your actors?
I would want to believe that being an actor, having been on that side, it does become, because you know it's very important to be able to communicate. I've worked with many different directors, and sometimes they're not able to communicate what they want. Sometimes they tell you such philosophical, psychological things, and you want to tell them, भाई मुझे clearly बताओ कि क्या मैंने क्या नहीं किया, ये क्या मुझे करना है. छोटी-छोटी मुझे चीजें बताओ. And you know, sometimes directors are sitting far away on the monitor. You don't have that connection.
Right.
You know, I like to stay like really close to the camera. I like to look at their eyes, and they will immediately know. पता चल जाता था ना कि मुझे अच्छा लगा, नहीं लगा, या हमें कुछ करना है. So in that sense, I feel that, I mean, it's a question really for them, whether they feel that whether it's not instructions, it's whatever, you kind of nudge them in a certain direction. Right. Or how you have imagined it to be. Sometimes they do something that is better than what I had imagined, and sometimes I want to stick to what I have imagined. So you know, it's sort of a process.
Yeah, it's always a collaborative process, and I
Absolutely.
think so that's what makes it amazing. Also, on a parting note, so if there has to be a Zwigato memory that you know the three of you all will cherish forever. I know there might be too many, but if there's something very special that is going to stay with you guys, what would that be?
आई थिंक जो हमने समय बिताया भुवनेश्वर में पूरा 1 महीना इस फिल्म को शूट करते हुए, और सबसे अच्छी चीज़ जो मैंने, बहुत सारी चीज़ें करते रहते हैं हम लोग शो के अलावा भी, कभी कोई ऐड फिल्म के लिए कुछ, पर जो बेस्ट पार्ट ये था इस फिल्म का कि नंदिता ने हमें फिल्म ना, स्क्रिप्ट तो थी, हमें फिल्म हमें दिखा भी दी थी, क्योंकि स्क्रिप्ट तो मैंने पढ़ी अकेले ने, और आप खुद विजुअलाइज करते हो यू नो कि अच्छा ऐसा कोई, मैंने घर भी शायद सोच रखा था मानस का, है ना, तो उस समय शायद शहाना से बात हुई थी, कोई जवाब याद नहीं आया था, ऐसा कुछ था, तो मैं ना एक ब्लर करके बीवी भी देख रहा था कोई अपनी जब मैंने स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ी, तो नंदिता मैम ने हमें एक्चुअली मुझे फिल्म दिखा दी कैसे कि स्क्रिप्ट रखी है, एक एक सीन इन्होंने ऐसे इतना ब्यूटीफुली मुझे समझाया कि मेरे अंदर वो घुस गया सारा स्क्रिप्ट यू नो. तो आप अभी आपके सामने बैठी पूछ लो आप, मुझे अपने तो डायलॉग याद ही होते थे, मुझे इनके भी याद है, मुझे सब आसपास बच्चों के भी याद है, मतलब इतना रम गया था उसमें,
कोई भूल जाए तो ये याद दिला देते
हाँ.
थे.
तो फिर उस वक्त जब होमवर्क इतना अच्छा हुआ हो और ऊपर से दूसरे शहर में जाके हम काम कर रहे हैं भुवनेश्वर में, इतना मजा आया. और ये भुवनेश्वर की हैं क्योंकि इनके दोस्त हमें, इन्होंने बड़े सारे अपने नेपोटिज्म बहुत करती हैं ये, इन्होंने अपने बहुत सारी फ्रेंड्स को भी फिल्म में आपको नजर आएंगी, पर बड़ा मजा आया वो टाइम. एक्चुअली आज ही हम याद कर रहे थे इनफैक्ट कि आज पूरा 1 साल हो गया इससे पहले.
Exactly.
आज की डेट में शायद
इस दौरान हम शूट कर रहे थे,
कर
फरवरी
रहे थे.
20th से मार्च 20th हमने शूट किया था, 25 दिन का हमारा
Is
शूट
it the
था.
same for you or is there?
Yeah, absolutely. एक और चीज that I think all three of us, जब हम सब साथ में रहते हैं तो गाना गुनगुनाना हो जाता है, and all of us like music, तो वो एक that has also been a कभी शूट के
nice
बीच में
bonding.
इधर-उधर we've kind of ended
बाद
up
में हमें पता चला
humming
हमारे
and
जो
singing.
डीओपी हैं रंजन दा वो गिटारिस्ट
हाँ,
है, उनको भी
he
म्यूजिक का
तो-
शौक
yeah,
है.
yeah. So there's a lot of music.
बड़े लाइक माइंडेड पीपल थे सारे यूनिट में.
Yeah. No, for me, I think the fact that 95% first of all actors were local and just from there. Some of them had never faced the camera. Some had done a little bit of theatre. Some had done film. जैसे फोटो स्टूडियो में हम कर रहे थे तो असली जो ओनर थे फोटो स्टूडियो के उन्होंने ही एक्ट कर लिया.
Wow.
You know, बहुत सारे राइडर्स जो थे वो थिएटर से थे. उसमें से ऐसे भी कुछ थे जो एक्चुअली में राइडर्स थे. तो कई जगहों पे यू नो कोई प्रिंसिपल थी, उन्होंने कुछ और रोल कर दिया. लाइक दे वर नॉट, ऑल ऑफ देम वर नॉट एक्टर्स, एंड द वे दे एंड द अदर एक्टर्स ब्लेंडेड and you know formed those relationships and those conversations, उसमें एक बड़ा मज़ा आया. At least as a director for me,
Wow,
that was a wonderful process, and we shot in all real locations. People were all wearing their own costumes other than these two and a couple of more. Most people were wearing all their own clothes except for the Zwigato t-shirts that we had given them. So there was something very natural and organic that was happening. So for me, that was the most special thing.
Wow. Absolutely. And you know, the three of y'all are such a powerhouse team that is sitting here, and I would be so glad to see y'all associating in the future once again for
We'd
an
love
amazing
to,
project.
because we love each other as well.
Yeah.
a lot.
Absolutely. Wish you all the very best for this. Thank you so
you.
much for removing time and doing this with us. And guys, 17th March is when happiness gets delivered.
Yes.
So do not forget to witness it on the big screen.
17 March.
17 March in the theatres. Thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
Nawaz.
Thank you, Nawaz.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.